Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to my bullet journal setup for the month of February. I'm very excited for this month's theme because this is something I've wanted to do for a while, and so I thought it would be time to do a cute little brunch breakfast kind of theme. So like I said, this is something I've wanted to do for a while, but I ended up getting a bit of inspiration from a particular sticker sheet that I have from Sticky. I will put a picture of it up on the screen so you can see what I'm kind of talking about. And I also did get inspiration from Ivana's journal over on Instagram. I will have their Instagram handle and everything linked below. I definitely got some inspiration from some other people because I wasn't sure how I wanted to do this. I've wanted to do a brunch theme for a while. I've tried to do it before and it just wasn't really working out, so I ended up doing something different. But now it felt like the time to do it because it just seemed very cute, but also very simple. Something that I definitely want to keep in mind when setting up my bullet journal for the whole year, every single month, is I want to keep these themes a little bit more simple. I feel like my themes in the past, they're never too elaborate, but I feel like there's been months where I've, spent hours and hours setting up my bullet journal, and I just don't think I really want to be doing that. I love journaling, I love drawing, and I love adding, all these colorful drawings and thinking of new themes every month, but I think keeping it more simple this year is kind of what I want to do. So I decided to take this brunch theme that I've been wanting to do for a while and just make it a very simple kind of take on that. So I'm drawing a few things that kind of remind me of breakfast, of brunch. So I drew an egg, a little cute piece of bacon, an avocado, a little tomato, which I really loved drawing the little tomato. I don't know why, I found it really precious. And then I also draw a little croissant or croissant. Croissant. I don't know how to say it. I'm saying croissant. You're just gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, just kept the drawings pretty simple, kept a pretty simple color palette as well. And to fill in the space kind of around the drawings and the lettering that I have throughout the month, I decided to draw some swirls, some stars, and just some dots in the different colors that I was using to color in those little drawings. And I also, throughout all of the spreads, keep the lettering very simple, and I think it works well with the theme and the types of drawings. But yeah, the title page is just all the decorative stuff, all of the fun drawings, but now we've moved on to the first functional spread, which is my calendar. And I definitely had to triple check making this calendar because February this year, it's a leap year, so we have 29 days in February, and that really threw me off. So when creating the little dots and numbering the calendar, I was very confused. But we have 29 days in February, just using again the different colors that I use for the drawings to create the days of the week, the headers for the days of the week up at the top, and then also the numbers on the actual calendar. I also have a little note section off on the side, which is something that I just like to include on my calendar pages now. It's something that now that I've introduced that into my calendar pages, I don't know how to not have a note section. So that's something I started doing a few months ago. I now have to have it every single month. So I have that little note section off to the side, and then just kind of in the empty space surrounding the calendar, I go in and do some of the drawings, the little breakfast brunch drawings, and again do the little swirls and the stars and the dots to fill in that empty space and just make it a little bit more fun and exciting. And while I finish up this calendar spread, I'd love to chat about any fun plans you all have going on in February. I personally don't think I have much going on. I know I have some family and friends with birthdays this month, but really nothing else going on. I know there's Valentine's Day, but I really don't care. I just love that everything is pink at Valentine's Day, so gonna need to go out, buy some Valentine's Day decor just because it's pink, and probably spend the day watching romance movies. That's gonna be my plan. But yeah, would love to know if you have any fun things planned in the month of February. And now I will let you just enjoy watching me set up the rest of the calendar spread to some lovely music. I always feel like I need to fill the silence in these voiceovers, but maybe it's okay that I shut up every once in a while, so enjoy the rest of the calendar spread being set up. moving on to the next spread, which is going to be my habit tracker spread. So for February, I'm tracking 6 different habits. I will switch up how many things I'm tracking and what I'm tracking each month, but I have kind of a system down of certain things that I do like to track. Something I introduced in January though was a no spend tracker. So making sure that I'm like shaming myself into not spending unnecessary money. And it kind of worked. Being able to fill that in when I didn't spend money that day was satisfying. So I wanted to carry that over into this month because it is important for me to just not spend all my money, you know. It's smart. And the other habits that I'm tracking this month are things that I typically track. So things such as when I read, when I wash my hair, when I do my skincare, when I floss, and when I have enough water in a day. So all important things for me to be keeping track of. These are the things I typically track, but want to carry that over into this month. Then I'm just creating the header up at the top, again, doing those little brunch and breakfast drawings just to keep the theme consistent on this page, but keeping it very simple. And this was a relatively fast theme for me to set up. Normally when I'm editing these bullet journal monthly setup videos, the raw footage before I speed it up and edit it all down, the minimum amount of time it normally is like an hour and a half, but a lot of times it's way more than that. So I'm very happy that this, like, before I even edited anything or sped it up, it was less than an hour. So this is a pretty quick and easy theme to do if you're wanting to do something a little fun, a little colorful, bring a little fun drawing element to a theme, but also having it be more simple and not super time consuming. This is kind of the perfect mix of both of those things. And then once I'm done with my habit tracker spread, I move on to the right-hand side, which is going to be my playlist spread. So at the end of the month, at the end of February, I will just have a place to write down all of the albums and the songs that I was listening to throughout the month. And it's just like a fun, like, memory keeping sort of way, especially because I do love music. So this is one of my favorite spreads to look back on in like past journals. And normally when I'm recording the voiceovers and I'm setting up this playlist page, I take the opportunity to reflect on what I was listening to the month previously. But honestly, January, it was just a Yes and by Ariana Grande on repeat kind of vibe. I wasn't sure how I felt about the song at first, but then the more I listened to it, the more I was like, no, this is a banger. And the music video is also really cool. Like, the choreography in the video, I think, is so cool. So yeah, Yes and by Ariana Grande was definitely like on repeat in January, and I'm excited to see what I end up listening to in February. And now we're moving on to the final spreads I'm setting up in this video, which is going to be my first 2 weekly spreads for the month of February. I decided to go with the layout of doing 6 boxes on each side for the first week and the second week, but then doing the drawings of the little breakfast and brunch things down the center. I always try when creating my weekly spreads to bring the theme into them in some way, but I also don't want to take away from the actual space that I need on these spreads for my to-do lists or things that are going on. So having the design kind of go down, or the doodles go down the center of the page, but then still have plenty of space for the boxes for the days of the week, this was just kind of a good solution and a good way to bring the theme in and make it a little bit more decorative, but also functional. And now my cat has decided to sit on my lap while I finish up this voiceover. So if we all just take a moment to be silent, we can hear his purring. Amazing. Thank you, Sam, for your contribution to the channel, as always. But anyway, once the doodles in the center of the page are done, I just create the 6 different boxes for the days of the week. So I'll have a box for Monday through Friday, and then I have one box just for the weekend, and that's just the best way for the layout for me. And so I have the first 2 weeks on these 2 pages, and I'm probably going to do this exact layout for every single weekly spread for the month of February. It just, I think, is a good system. There's plenty of space for me to write down what I need while also having the fun of the theme involved as well. But those are all of my spreads for the month of February, so here's a flip through of how it all turned out. I definitely think that there could have been some other brunch-like items that I decided to draw throughout these spreads, but I have done some other themes where I've drawn like waffles and things like that, so I just kind of wanted to change it up and do some different drawings this month. But I am happy with how it all turned out, and again, I will have some of the inspiration that I pulled from linked below. But that is going to be it for my February bullet journal setup, so thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.